Are you personally aware of any steps that have been taken to facilitate his return to the United States?
Look, I think he's a citizen of El Salvador. He's in El Salvador. He's home.
Why not make that argument in court?
Let's hop over to CNN, where Kaitlan Collins conducted a rather spicy interview with MAGA border czar Tom Homan, major author on Project 2025, by the way, who has also led the way on these unconstitutional deportations. So leave us a like on this video if you can. Take a second. It's free. It helps us out a ton. And let's hop right into the chaos.
Federal judge in Maryland, Judge Zinnes, has been criticizing the government this week for what she says is doing, quote, nothing to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States. Are you personally aware of any steps that have been taken to facilitate his return to the United States?
Look, I think he's a citizen of El Salvador. He's in El Salvador. He's home. He's an illegal alien with a final order of removal. He's a MS-13 member, which is now classified as a terrorist. So we removed an illegal alien, MS-13 member, who has a final order removal issued by an immigration judge to his homeland.
So should I read that as to say nothing has been done to bring him back to the United States? That's what it sounds like.
I can't speak to everybody in the administration. I can just tell you what my stance is. And I think we did the right thing. I think he's where he should be. And
couple things. Notice how he never answered what they were doing to facilitate his return. That's because it's nothing. These people literally think they don't have to respect the courts or the Constitution. They think that if they poison the well enough, oh, terrorist, oh, illegal, oh, gang member, that their base will carry water for them and it won't really hurt them politically, at least. And the saddest part is that they're correct, but to clarify fully here what's being discussed, his order for deportation was just a judge ordering he could, not should be deported, where they also specifically said if you do deport him, not to El Salvador because it could pose major damage to his life. That is where they sent him. This alone is why they are being asked to facilitate his return. It's not like we want illegal immigrants back. They could literally instantly deport him again. And if it was such an open and shut case, and if they do respect the Constitution and the courts, I don't see why they want it.
He's a designated terrorist, which order withholding is meaningless, I believe, according to the attorneys. And look, even if he came back, people think he's going to be released and go back to, no, he's going to be detained and he's going to be removed as per the order removal, either to El Salvador or another country. So this person has an order removal. He's seen 2 different immigration judges, and he's been ordered deported. And that's exactly what happened.
I'm glad you brought that up because that withholding removal order essentially said the one place he can't go is El Salvador, where he's from. He claimed that he was concerned he could be persecuted if he was returned. Why not simply have him return to the U.S., detain him, and then deport him to a third country? Wouldn't that be in accordance with the law?
I think we're in accordance with the law. I mean, I'm not an attorney. I'm not DOJ fighting this case.
This is exactly what Project 2025 set out to do. Test the limits of the courts, test the limits of the Constitution, test the limits of Congress even, to expand the power under the executive rapidly to dictator-like levels, of which I stress again, this man is a major author of Project 2025. He is trying to see that out, of which Trump, again, claimed to not know anyone or know anything about that was connected to it. This order of withholding is important, though, as much as he tries to write it off, as if there was material evidence for him being a gang member terrorist, he wouldn't have been granted an order of withholding after his order of removal, because it would have been decided that, yeah, there's grounds for deportation. Again, all these people have to do is return him, put him in front of an immigration judge. This doesn't take a trial. This doesn't take 5 hearings. It's like a 5-minute process, and then deport him to any country if, once you prove your claims, that's not on his order of withholding, which is literally any country but El Salvador. But these people just see themselves as above the courts.
Why not make that argument in court? If you think that you can make the argument that he is fine to go back to El Salvador, why not just make that argument and try to terminate that order that said that the one place he couldn't go to was the one place that he was sent to?
Look, again, I'm not litigating this case to the DOJ. I think DOJ is continuing to litigate the case, but I think we're in a good stance. I think we're in a good place. Again, I'm not an attorney. I can just speak to my experience as a guy who enforces immigration law, but I think that DOJ has a strong case, and I think we're standing by what we did was the correct thing to do.
Has the Attorney General Pam Bondi, to your knowledge, attempted to revise that withholding removal order?
I have not spoken to Pam Bondi about this.
You mentioned the Justice Department. One thing that has been on my mind as we've been covering this is President Trump was in office in 2019 when an immigration judge granted this withholding removal status to Abrego Garcia. It was the Trump Justice Department then that decided not to appeal it or fight it. Do you believe that they should have here?
Well, the conditions of the country are different now than they were back then. Maybe the condition of the country is one that the withholding made sense. I mean,
Again, super simple, and I'm not going to stop saying it during this video. These people see themselves as not having to answer to the courts because they are above it and essentially constitutional law, which is super scary. Like, you can't understate how fragile a time this truly is for American democracy, where we're flirting with a fascist dictatorship in a way that we've never seen before. The president is openly overstepping Congress, defying the courts, ignoring constitutional protections. I mean, at what point is the line drawn here? And there's a second layer of that is extra scary to me as a Black person, and any person of color also should be offended or worried about it. And that's how MAGA is okay with this, because he's foreign, he's brown. They're ready to sign off on human rights violation, the dictatorship, as long as it's only negatively affecting the brown members of society.